Okay. Okay, so, real quick, because I didn't turn the camera on. We're finding area under the curve, which is just an integral. So the first thing we did was we graphed this parabola. And we found the area under the parabola on the interval -5 to 0, which we shaded all yellow. You can't really tell because I had to shade over part of it, but it was just the parabola at that time. Found the area under the curve by finding the antiderivative and then plugging in our values. I got 24.167. Then we graphed the linear function, 1/2x plus 4, right here, on the same grid. We did the area under that curve from -5 to 0, which is where this orange trapezoid comes from. Found the antiderivative of that. We could have found it as the area of the trapezoid, but we actually found it by finding the antiderivative, plugging in 0 and -5. Got 13.75. So then the question is, how do we find the area that is located between the two graphs? That would be between the parabola and the line. So now this leftover funky looking shape that's yellow, and we found it by subtracting. So we got 24.167, which is what we got under the parabola, minus 13.75, which is what we got from the trapezoid, and we get 10.417. So then we just found the antiderivatives and subtracted them. So f of x minus g of x, that would be the parabola minus the line. Simplified that to get this, then took the antiderivative, and in fact we get 10.417. Okay, so what do we notice about that value?
It's the same as the other one.
It's the same as the other one. So what we just discovered is, and y'all actually kind of knew this already,
This is the easy way.
f of x dx minus. So you can find the antiderivatives and then subtract them, or you can find the difference between the two and then take the antiderivative. Either way, you get the same answer, which we kind of already knew because in properties of antiderivatives, we talked about that. That was one of our properties. Okay, so this brings about the general way that we will find the area between two curves. So, the area between f of x and g of x, I think I'm going to make that bigger. Hold on. Okay, so our A and our B value have to be the points where our two functions intersect. And specifically, they're not just any coordinates, they have to be the x coordinates where f and g intersect. There's also one other important thing that must take place. In this case, f of x has to be greater than g of x. It has to be above it to be written this way. Okay, so now we're going to do this, we're going to do it again, same thing. We're going to find the area of the shaded region R that is bound by sine of pi x and x cubed minus 4x. Which one is on top? Sine. The sine wave's on top. So that will be our f of x piece. And the cubic is on bottom, so that's going to be your g of x. So just to keep it straight, I'm going to say f of x equals sine of pi x. Alright, so we're trying to find the area of R. So my x values, my A and my B, my interval, have to be my x coordinates points where my two functions intersect. So what's my first x-coordinate going to be?
0.
0, because they intersect at the origin right here. And then what about your next 2?
That's what I did already.
Alright, so now we have to put our sine wave first, because that's our f of x piece. Minus our g of x piece.
Sure.
Alright, now in this case, does it make sense for us to try to simplify this?
You got Saturday school.
For what?
I'm not saying it's at Saturday in my case. That's what happens.
Okay, does it make sense? This is what we discovered, that these two things are equal. We can either take the antiderivatives of both and then subtract the answers, or we can simplify it first and then take the antiderivative once. You're going to do whatever makes sense. In this particular thing, does it make sense, in this particular picture, this area, does it make sense to take the antiderivative of each piece first, or does it make sense to simplify the function first? What makes more sense?
Simplify the function first.
No, because it's sine. There's nothing that will gonna
Right.
I mean, if it's
cancel.
If it was two polynomials,
what I was getting at.
it would make sense to simplify. But in this case, they're not. One of them's a sine wave and one of them's a polynomial. So it's going to make more sense to take the two antiderivatives separately. So that's what I'm going to do first, is actually write them as two separate antiderivatives. So I'm going to go 0 to 2 of sine pi x dx minus 0 to 2 of x cubed minus 4x dx.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Miss Madden. I'm completely lost.
You haven't even read the question. You wouldn't be completely lost if you read the question.
Are we trying to figure out which process would be better? Is that it?
Okay.
Could we just do it either way, anyways? Why not?
Because you can't take the antiderivative of this.
Not easily.
No, I mean we can, but not, you can't there is no way to simplify this.
It would just be
It doesn't simplify.
yeah.
It would just be this minus that, so you might as well split it up. Okay, so now, I have a function, I have a composite function. I have a function inside of a function right here. It's pretty gross. So, when that happens, I'm looking for my license to integrate. So what would my license to integrate from that inside piece be?
1 pi.
1 pi. And do I have that on the outside?
Nah.
But I could put that on the outside.
Yes, you can lie very well.
If I put the constant that cancels it out front, yes?
Would it be
So that's what I'm going to do. How would I cancel
1
it?
over pi?
1 over pi,
Yeah.
thank you. So I would have 1 over pi outside of the antiderivative, pi sine pi x dx. That is my license to integrate.
Huh.
Disgusting. This piece is gonna integrate real easily. Okay, so now, what is the antiderivative of sine?
Negative cosine.
Negative cosine. So the 1 over pi, that constant has to be there. So it's actually going to be now negative 1 over pi cosine pi x. Because we just took the antiderivative. Now I'm going to take the antiderivative of this piece. I read that already. I can simplify, yes, this to x squared. Everybody okay? I'm going to start plugging in.
I should list on that side, right, it is on this side.
That's hurt.
What are you going to ask?
Alright, so, yeah, you just do what, so I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to plug in 2 first, so distribute my negative too, by the way, as well. So this becomes. Where what?
What negative 2 we talking
I don't know, focus for
This,
about?
a negative times a negative. My negative becomes positive.
Oh, you said it should be your negative 2. Oh, your negative as well.
That's why, then I corrected myself and said as well.
That's
Or I
what
said
it
in addition, I think.
is.
Oh no.
Because I figured that might be
That's
confusing.
fine.
Okay,
Oh, I
so
see.
now, is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Alright, anybody remember what cosine of 2 pi is?
One.
Huh.
Everybody remember where cosine of 2 pi is?
Right? From your perspective, right there.
And so the ordered pair right there is the ordered pair 1, 0. So cosine is 1. Cosine of 2 pi is 1, which means that I actually just have negative pi.
Oh my goodness.
What's going to happen right here?
Plus
What
one.
is cosine of 0?
1.
It's also 1.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen right here?
Plus 1.
Plus 1 over pi. So what
Oh.
happens to your 1 over
Cancel.
pi?
Cancel.
Those pieces cancel out. So those are gone.
Boom. Yayeet.
The rest of this is all gone anyway, because it was all zeros.
So it is dab it up.
So all I have to fix is this part right here. So let's see. 2 to the 4th is 16. That's
Yayeet.
negative 4 plus
8.
8,
Yeah.
which is 4.
Not bad, bad.
So the area, this is the area of all this. It's 4. Who would have thought it would have come out to be a whole number? Not me.
I did.
I wouldn't have thought that with it being curvy and stuff.
I heard something.
Alright,
What's the
look at
name?
the picture that we have on the next page. We have a cubic function and a
Yeah,
line.
later.
So picture to the right, we have the graph of f of x plus 3 cosine x. And a line, which is tangent to f of x at the point 0, 3. So it says find the area of the region R. Now, if we're going to find the area of the region R, we know that we're going to have an integral. So I'm going to say area of R. And it's going to have to go from, that's area of R is this piece over here. It's going to have to go from this point, some point we don't yet know, to 0. So I shall say from A to 0 of f of x dx. How am I going to find A?
We're not.
Yes, we are.
Well, it's where they meet.
Do you
By-
set the equation equal to 0?
We would, but in this case, look at the equation. This is f of x. So we're going to plug it into our calculator,
Yeah.
and we're going to actually just find a 0. So, you're such a piece of trash.
Yo,
Hey.
but it's not like it's stuff I don't understand how to do. It's just like I don't.
What'd she say? Wait, why? Why?
Apparently, I missed a Thursday somewhere in there, and I texted my mom and told her to make sure to call the school, and she didn't. So,
What are you going to do this Saturday?
take my mom's car.
Haley and I right there.
I'm gonna do nothing.
Sleep.
Yeah, that's what I did last time.
No. No.
That's what I did last time. I had Saturday school. I literally went up there and I slept. I didn't have headphones, so I put my music on like volume 2. I just laid it down on the desk and put my head over it.
Okay, so I'm going to this is that.
It's about the key.
-1.37.
Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. Because remember, it's the area under the curve. In this case, R, does R have anything to do with any other function?
No?
Not, look at
No, because it's.
look at what they've got shaded.
Yeah,
On-
it doesn't really.
On
doesn't-
whatever it's a
It
zero.
doesn't really. This is just like what we've done in the past because it really, this line isn't affecting R at all. R is just the cubic function and the area under the curve. So all I need is the distance between that curve and the axis. But I still need to find that intersection point right there. So I'm going to find a 0.
Yeah, -1.37.
These shapes are really awkward.
They are.
You didn't hang out this week. It was so sad.
Yeah, Gavin went up to the jail all weekend. We were excited.
Oh, dang, I'm not. Make sure you're in radians.
You have a number bottle.
For some reason, I'm not.
I was texting him consistently.
So they. Yeah, I remember
Mm.
just on my house, or was it my place?
They went fishing. anyway.
Mom, please.
Thank you for saving my life.
Me and Dylan was switch blocks.
You need to pull up on that behavior.
Okay, I got negative 1.373.
373.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this.
Okay.
What?
Wait, there's me.
That was the only person I know you. He's the only person I know who doesn't call me by like some sort of nickname. Nick. It's supposed to rain all week.
Cold. It already rains. Oh, wait.
Okay, so since we're using our calculator, I think what I shall do is I'm just going to go over to my regular page, and I just put the curve in my f of x because I had to find a 0. So now I'm just going to put in the integral, and I'm going from negative 1.373
Why didn't you give me 3 then?
f. You need to change your settings.
One side of my foot is really leathery.
What do you have to plug in there with X? Oh, is
I
that?
got 2.903.
That's what I got.
That's the new line.
Everybody see what I did? So I put my function in f of x.
I'm in the.
I was gonna say, just check and make sure you're in degrees. So, Gavin, on your, go to your graph
Okay.
and hit menu and go down to settings 8.
Look.
And what is your float on?
3.
I put my float's on 6. I don't know if that all.
Oh, I put on, that's 7.
It doesn't matter.
Turn it.
But float 3 wasn't giving me 3, so. Now fix 3 would definitely give you 3.
I tapped it down.
You
but
should
it
put it on-
just started continuously going into a.
Float 18.
But since we're about to take the AP exam and you need 3 decimals for everything, I would definitely put it on something.
Well, it doesn't follow my calculation, but it is used.
You
Fix
should.
it?
You
Well, it
should
should
put.
now, because you're on your graph.
It does.
Okay, So, what did I just get?
2.903.
2.903. Okay. Alright, so now it says find the equation of the line if it is tangent to the graph at 0, 3. Okay, they just gave you a point of tangency, 0, 3. I need in order to find the equation of this line,
You need a slope.
I need a slope.
At
What
that
is a slope?
Derivative.
A derivative. So
At
I
that
need a
point.
slope at that point, which is what they say, the point 0, 3. I need the slope right here. So I need the derivative of my original function. It's okay. It's in our calculator.
Yeah.
So we already found the integral. Now let's find the derivative.
What's in a while since I've been doing
I mean, but what if this wasn't calculated? We should probably do it on paper.
Let's don't. It'd be nasty.
But
They wouldn't give you this one. They wouldn't give you this one to do by hand
why not?
because it's got a cubic and a cosine and a sine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta go fast.
Is it a certain point?
At 0. So I
Zero.
wonder if I plug in 0.
I got 0.
0, that's not right.
But it is the top of it. That's
And you see the angle of that line though? Come on, Meow.
That's not the slope though.
I got negative 1. I thought you were saying
Yeah, I got negative 1/2 too.
It should be negative 1
Wait,
half.
are you in radians or degrees?
Haha.
Oh, did you
You
just
see
take-
how I figured
You're
it
right.
out critical?
You're
of
right.
line L.
Use them dots and I went.
You just take the derivative of the function. I still didn't get.
Because it's asking for add 0,3, since it's add 0,3,
It says line L.
So that's why I use the function. Yeah, I did the one. I did it.
Because if it was like S or
I know, but I still didn't get. It's supposed to be negative 1 half. Why didn't I get negative 1
But-
half?
Plug in.
Because it's line L, not F1 of X, or what we're doing.
It's okay.
I thought in the phone.
No, yeah, we need F1. We need the slope of this tangent line, and this line is tangent to the curve. So we are taking
should
the
get the same
derivative of that function, not the line. We're trying to find the equation of the line. So you should be able to plug in the derivative
And it should get-
of F1 of X.
I just used the dots on the graph and I counted.
Mine didn't. I got negative 2.69.
Ms. Banana, are you in degrees or radians?
I'm in radians.
I got the same thing.
You got negative 2.69?
Oh no, I got 0.
You should get negative 1 half.
I don't know why.
And Gavin
That
did
was-
get negative 1 half.
That's what I did. I just plugged it into the graph. And
I
that
put-
was my
Did you
table.
put your parentheses around the X?
Yeah?
No, that's not.
See, I mean, if you look at the little graph it gave us, and you put a little dot where the 2 and the 2, and then you kind of
Why is that working?
Let's do my hand, you want half?
Negative 1.
yeah.
You should get negative 1 half.
Maybe it's something like last time where you had one component sitting there and you figure
I
out.
think I'll look at mine.
Discount.
My other answer was right though.
Yeah, it was like if they made a parody of X or something, and awful movie, BB Jackson. He probably just died in 35 seconds. X-Men Origins,
Oh, you know what I bet?
Whitney Origins.
The Whitney.
What are you doing, man? You don't see
I
I
am
saving the world. He does all things but kills crap.
That'd be dope.
That sounds weird.
I do too.
You're just gonna say.
That'd be so weird.
No lie, if I could just make taquitos in my head. So fast. No, if I was super out of control time.
You might have played it up.
Negative 1 half.
Showtime's pretty OP with this.
Oh, you did put it in.
I have the same problem.
You got negative 6. Did you get negative 2.69 when you did it? I just don't understand. I'm putting in exactly what Gavin's putting in.
Something.
It looks like
Settings.
Michael tried to do it and it said that the value is
I
stored.
plugged in the exact same thing all the
So
time.
we might have a stored value.
Just
Oh, like I have a
vision is
value stored in
plausible.
X maybe?
Yeah, because mine's
I thought that's not plausible. That's not fair. You can't play like
Yeah, I can. You know what?
You
Why do
guys
say
use the
that out loud?
superpower of having
Yeah,
taquitos.
Taquito
It doesn't need to be. So he just, see, because you're, oh, no, you have to put an X right here.
That's like,
Because you need the value of the derivative. You need
It's
the
not.
derivative of
It's
the
not
function.
3 abilities. It is control over time. It is 1 ability. Yeah, it is.
and 0.
That's like saying if.
you're not allowed to play anymore.
No, you've got to find the derivative of the
That's like
function.
saying that the whole.
Yeah. And the derivative of the function is negative 1 half. And I don't know why it works for Gavin.
No, I didn't start making up rules. I picked 1.
Because when I did the whole function, I got like 6
You
points.
can't lose. It's like, oh, you stabbed me back.
I got 2.69. I'll figure it out.
And then like.
Listen, I'm just gonna walk up behind you and shoot you. You can't rewind it today.
That's the only way to win. And even then, I messed up. And then I turned the bullet around.
I get someone else again.
That's not how it feels.
I think Kira is getting ready with
I just got more.
us.
So we have to make like 5.
Oh, turn that off. Will you hit that for me?
pretty exciting.
It's on the end. That little button. Yeah, just look at that.
Are you tired?